In 1996, the California High-Speed Rail Authority was created by the state legislature to plan and design a system connecting the state's major metropolitan areas. Fast forward to 2005, when the statewide program Environmental Impact Report and Environmental Impact Statement, also known as EIR-EIS, was approved, outlining the entire proposed high-speed rail system. In 2008, the California State Legislature passed Assembly Bill 3034, which very specifically laid out the do's and don'ts of high-speed rail in California. Among many other things, the law states that the Bay Area must be connected to the Central Valley as part of Phase 1 of the program, but it also expressly forbids us from having a high-speed rail station between Gilroy and Merced. Later in 2008, that law became Proposition 1A, the bond act passed by voters to finance high-speed rail in California. Also approved that year was the Bay Area to Central Valley program EIR-EIS, which first identified the Pacheco Pass as the preferred alternative to connect the Bay Area to the Central Valley. In 2009, the authority and the Federal Railroad Administration issued a Notice of Preparation and a Notice of Intent, or an NOP/NOI, initiating the environmental review process. That kicked off a public scoping period, during which time the authority collected more than 500 comments on the project. That same year, meetings with the public and other stakeholders were also held throughout the corridor. In 2011, community and technical working groups started meeting on a consistent basis to discuss the development of high-speed rail plans, in addition to continued public and stakeholder outreach. In 2012, the authority released its 2012 business plan, which laid out plans to establish an initial operating section, or IOS, connecting the Central Valley to the San Fernando Valley from Merced to Burbank. Later that year, the authority's board of directors certified the final environmental documents for the Merced to Fresno project section and directed staff to carry forward all options for the Central Valley Y near Chowchilla for further study. Over the next year or so, there were several administrative steps and presentations to the board to determine the best way to advance environmental clearance of the Y. At the same time, extensive public outreach was conducted to refine the range of alternatives. In 2013, while the San Jose to Merced project section team continued to study and develop alternatives and solicit public feedback, it was ultimately determined to environmentally clear the Central Valley Y in a supplemental environmental document to the Merced to Fresno project section EIR-EIS. In 2014, the legislature and the governor reaffirmed their commitment to high-speed rail by providing an ongoing revenue stream through the state's cap-and-trade proceeds. In 2015, the authority continued its public outreach efforts in the Bay Area, hosting community open house meetings, working group meetings, and reaching out to specific communities through the authority's environmental justice program, developed in compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. All of these outreach efforts continued through 2016 and are still ongoing today. Last year, the authority's 2016 business plan was adopted, outlining a new plan to offer initial passenger service from the Central Valley to the Silicon Valley by 2025. This shift to the north is a change from the 2012 plan to offer initial service to Southern California. By connecting the Central Valley to cities in the Silicon Valley and the broader Bay Area as never before, high-speed rail will create unprecedented economic opportunities for people in both areas. New job markets will be opened up for people living in the Central Valley, and creating a high-speed connection to the Central Valley would help address the affordable housing crisis in the Bay Area. Plans for the Valley-to-Valley line also show that we can fund, build, and initiate revenue-producing high-speed rail operations within existing funding sources. That brings us to 2017. You'll be seeing more community outreach events and stakeholder engagement to make sure you're informed and involved as environmental and technical analysis moves forward. Late this summer, we expect to present the staff-recommended preferred alternative to our board of directors. We then plan to issue the draft environmental document, which will include a public hearing and 45-day comment period. We encourage you to stay in touch and share your thoughts with us throughout this process. Community feedback has been and will remain critical to building the nation's first high-speed rail system right here in California.